Oba KB, let's talk about it. Deontay, I'm telling you, quarantine crazy is a real thing. It is a real thing, man.
Did I coin that?
You did. No, I did that.
Did you?
And I said it to you, and then you repeated it right immediately after I said it.
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It came from here.
It came from here, and nobody else is using it. So you guys should start going on social media right now, and you should hashtag quarantine crazy. It goes right around with the COVIDiots, the people who just go out in the middle of the thing and do stupid stuff, regardless of the fact that there's a pandemic. It just is. So Deontay Wilder is in the car.
Yes.
He's got his guy with him. I can't tell who it is. Probably not Mark Breland. Somebody's in the. I'm just saying. It's probably not. It's
well, if it was, it would have been a towel.
Yeah, I think he would have threw the towel in the middle. You'd get a towel.
Woo! Well, if you haven't seen it, Brian, tell him.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys.
Oh, you're gonna tell him. Thank you.
It goes off on Mike Tyson's career and says a lot of stuff. So you might think
I'm gonna have fun.
We're gonna talk about this. I'm gonna show you the video in its entirety. It's about 2 minutes long. And let me tell you, it's NSFW. So I want to give you that. So if you're somewhere right now, you might need to put your headphones in if you got kids around, or But here you go.
Everybody was scared of Mike Tyson, let's face it, because of his aggressiveness and what he would say, the things he would do. It would be, people called him a psycho. He was nuts. So of course, if a person go crazy all the time, people gonna get fearful of the person. That's of course. But if you go back, and I want somebody to answer this question for me: how many Hall of Famers fighters did Mike Tyson actually fight?
Let's see if somebody know the answer.
How many Hall of Famers did Mike Tyson actually fight? And don't bring up no motherfucking Michael Spinks that came from a light heavyweight to heavyweight that was fucking terrified out of his motherfucking boots. And don't bring up Larry Holmes because we already know Larry was way past his prime. So how many of them? And you come back with that. All of
somebody said, okay, they saying 6.
6, name them. Logistically, somebody credibility, Hall of Famers, name them. I'll be waiting. We gonna do homework today, goddamn. I'm gonna take y'all motherfuckers to school that y'all don't know nothing about what you talking about.
Alright, some people
had to get on
some people saying 2.
How many? Come on, give it to me. How many?
Somebody said 3.
How many? How many?
I want the people to come back and say
down something, man, because people don't understand. They don't do their research about shit. Oh my God, Mike Tyson, he fucking crazy. Mike Tyson, shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Okay, I am Bambo.
Go do your research.
Lewis and Holyfield.
Thank you. Only 2, my nigga. Only 2. Holyfield beat him twice and Lennox beat him. Only 2. So what the fuck y'all talking about?
Lewis and Holyfield.
Now you go back and do your fucking history. Everybody else was fucking scared. Nobody want no Hall of Famers. Only 2. So get the fuck out of here. Go and do your research. When y'all do with me, when you come to me, do your fucking facts and research.
I love the look on your face.
Okay. Well, I'll have something to say in championship round.
I am. Now you look taken aback.
I was, and I'll explain to why I was taken aback when I respond, because if I start now, it's just,
That was hilarious, okay? Not hilarious. That was hilarious.
Yeah. So some people have a hard time accepting defeat. And things happen. They, you ever see the movie Play It to the Bone?
Yes, I did. I love it.
Okay, Woody Harrelson and Antonio Banderas. Remember when Antonio Banderas' character got knocked out and he was then telling Woody Harrelson, I even turned gay because the guy was gay. I wanted to see if I was missing something. Remember?
Yeah.
He's like, I even tried it.
That's right.
I tried it. I thought maybe he knows something I don't know. And he got knocked out at the Garden.
Because he can't, because I've never lost and I can't accept this. I don't understand why.
So I needed to do something.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Deontay Wilder is going to go gay. What I'm saying is everything that we're hearing right now, from the minute he lost that fight, just sounds like somebody. Now, I don't know what inspired him to go on this rant. It seems like he was responding to that one person, right, that said something on social media.
It'll get you sometimes.
And everybody's like, what's going on here? But it's that one person he's talking to.
It'll get you sometimes.
But I have a question to Deontay, who I really do like. It's not a qualifier. I do like him. I think there is a lot of positives, and I've picked him in every single fight, even the one that he got a draw where I thought he lost, and even this last one where he lost. How many Hall of Famers did Deontay beat? So that's number one. Number two, why are you picking on Mike? Why are you picking on Mike? I mean, I don't want to have to go where I'm going to go.
It's ludicrous.
Stop it. I don't want to go where I'm going to have to go right now, but you know,
take your info to Bolivia.
You're going to do. Keep going. You're just going to put out there.
If you keep talking, going to eat your children.
I knew that was coming.
Oh my God.
You know, I never heard, really, to the extent of the excuses Deontay's made. I never heard those excuses from Mike.
Yeah.
But
no, yeah. The worst one was at Holyfield. Why he at
the headbutts?
Why he bit him. Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Okay, but what I'm saying here is, you know, people who live in glass houses shouldn't be throwing stones. Who's Deontay really beaten? Let alone the fact that we always pick him and we like him. Who, you know, he has that great. Who's he really beaten historically? That's going to stack up against all the other heavyweights.
His best victory of his career is Luis Ortiz.
Right.
It's his best win.
And if he wants to ask how many Hall of Famers has Mike beaten, I don't even know why that's relevant. Hall of Famers. Like, I don't understand why the whole rant's necessary and why he needs to try to go pick on Mike. Mike must have insulted him.
No. So here's the thing, right? And you hit it on the head at the beginning of what you said.
Losing.
Right. Though it's two things you said. So one is the losing, because now this is fallout from him losing these fights and feeling insecure, right? So part of the feeling insecure is now that you've lost, definitively lost, people are coming out of the woodwork and they're throwing insults at you and they're hurling this and that and at you. So you said it. You said it's that one person in the comments that says this, that, or third. But what happens is somebody comes to Deontay and says, you ain't never beat nobody. You finally fought somebody and that's why you lost, blah, 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 blah. So this rant that he goes on is in response to that comment. But here's the thing. The person that made the comments name is Joe Willie Bobo from Tuscaloosa, and nobody cares or knows who he is. And what's happening is when Deontay's rant is posted, you're not getting the context of which it came in, which was an answer to somebody questioning his resume.
Right.
So then Deontay, who's already in his
bringing Mike into it.
Right, already in his feelings, because maybe the person said you ain't no champion like Mike Tyson, who this, that, and the third, and that. So then Deontay goes off and says, Mike Tyson, who Mike Tyson ever beat? But then when the clip gets played, the only thing that gets played is his rant towards Mike Tyson. So it comes off as this completely unprompted, unprovoked attack on Mike Tyson. When in actuality, it was a response to a comparison in which he was given the shorter end of the stick. Now, I say that. So I got two other points to make.
Okay.
While I think that Deontay definitely is in his feelings and not handling losing very well at all, I 100% agree with that.
Or the criticism.
Or the criticism, because it all comes in losing. Because if you win, nobody can legitimately criticize. They criticized him even when he was winning. But
yeah, exactly.
They did. So, but this is different because now it has more validity. He's not handling that well. But
No.
everything he said was right. Everything he said was right. I love Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
But he's one of the more overrated heavyweights of all time. If you take into overall consideration of who he did beat and the era in which he dominated in a very weak era. He just did it with such devastation and style that you were like, oh my God. And he had this whole aura about him. You know what Mike Tyson was, and we're making a lot of WWE references. Sometimes we'll make one.
Sure.
Mike Tyson's career is like that part of the WWE superstar. So every once in a while, Vince McMahon brings in a big monster guy. So Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar, or whatever. And their first 5 to 7 matches are what you call squash matches. So they send them out there with some little to no body or whatever, and they gradually scale up the competition to more known people. But these people are being set up to go out there, get destroyed, so that it makes the big monster guy look bigger and better, and the fans watch him and go, man, this guy's a monster. Most of Mike's career was squash matches. The prime.
No, the first 20 for sure.
The prime of his career, and even once he, like Trevor Berbick, at Trevor Berbick's age, at that point was a squash match.
Remember, that's who was available.
I get it. So I'm not saying that they moved the pieces around to make it easy for Mike. It's just that what was available equated to a series of squash matches, and he squashed them, which is what he was supposed to do.
Right.
And to be honest with you, Buster Douglas should have been a squash match. It's just that Mike was at a horrible place, and Buster Douglas was at the perfect place to be 100% motivated, able to take advantage of a compromised Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
That's why that happened, and, all things lined up perfectly for Buster Douglas at that point. And it wasn't sustainable because he throws an uppercut from 25 miles back against Evander Holyfield in the next fight, and he's like 40 pounds overweight in the process. It gets knocked out. So it is what it is. But that's the other thing. It's what Deontay said is actually not wrong. He's not lying. What he said was wrong. It's just the spirit in which he said it, and the way it was packaged. It comes off as an unsolicited attack.
Perfect way to put it.
Exactly. But
could have packaged. Although he's right, could have packaged it better.
And then maybe
you can't pick on people's icons like that.
Well, maybe if I don't subscribe to that thought though. I say you can pick on anybody.
But Mike didn't start it. So it's like
right. No, that's true. So here's the thing: there's a certain amount of couth that needs to be had, right?
Right. But you know what I'm saying.
Right. Even though Mike didn't start it, somebody made this comment that was negative. It was comparing you to Mike.
Mike's getting the brunt.
And Mike is the one who's. It's like you come up to me, somebody's child comes up to me and goes, "My dad will knock your dad out. My dad will knock you out."
Brian.
Yeah.
Unless Deontay is smarter than we all think, maybe he's trying to throw his name in the hat.
You know what? I thought about that, but I doubt that that's the case. I think this was a completely emotional reaction.
Yeah.
It was because somebody came up to him and
I'm going all conspiracy theory on today's show.
That Mike had a better career than him, and there was this and he was like, pfft. And he gave some very valid points. Now, my last point on this is, depending on who you are culturally, and I looked at the way Deontay Wilder's rant was described, and I looked at the way it was consumed, and it was really a very cultural divide in the words that were used to describe it. One writer who I actually know personally described it as a savage attack. And there was a couple other ones that were like, oh, it was just so beastly and it was emotional and enraged.
The savage, the beast.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This is how Black people talk. That was just a sports debate.
Right.
And that's all that was. He wasn't even mad. Like that's not what that was. And I know you saw his face. He was cursing. He was yelling.
Wait, what voice was that?
What
did you guys do?
That's the misconception accusatory tone. Did you see his face? He was yelling. No. Yeah. No.
What was that?
Was in an impassioned conversation that he was involved in, and he was letting his guards down, and he wasn't talking like he was actually on an interview.
Mm-hmm.
And this is so if you come into the living room of a lot of people, especially African American people who are debating sports, you will hear a conversation just like that. Nobody's mad, nobody's about to fight, there's none of that. That's just how the conversation goes. And then I hug you, I kiss you, you have a beer afterwards or whatever, it's whatever, and you leave, and that's it. So I think that the nature in which he was delivering that information was kind of a little bit twisted and spit out a certain type of way. So yeah,
I think there was also some underlying frustration.
Oh, I'm sure there is, because it's personal. Because it's personal.
And I think Mike might have been critical of him in the past.
Mike.
Just saying.
I'm not even.
All right, listen. I said my piece.
I'm not gonna go because Mike. He be saying all kinds of stuff. One day he say this, next day he say that. I don't know what it is. I just wait for him to show up. That's what it is. So